Hello and welcome to the last lecture of section 4 S3 lab, that is Simple Storage Service lab. Lab objectives. The first objective is to upload an object to S3 bucket. The second one is to access the uploaded object, and the third one is object lifecycle. It's a brief demo. So in upload an object to S3 bucket, that is the first one, here are the steps. You need to create your bucket, and then you must remember that bucket name must be unique across all the existing S3 bucket names. That is, it should be globally unique. Your bucket name must comply with bucket naming conventions, and then finally you can browse to your object and upload. So these are the steps we are going to follow for objective 1. Access the uploaded objects. It's simple one, and it's just finally marking the object as public, and then object lifecycle, which we have already seen in theory, we will see in the demo as well. Okay, so let us sign into AWS console, https://aws.amazon.com. Here we are in AWS management console. Our first objective is to upload an object in S3, that is Simple Storage Service. So I'm going to find out S3 in this AWS services. I have entered S3. I will click S3. To fulfill our first objective, that is to upload an object to S3, we must have a bucket. We are already having a lot of bucket over here, but I will create a new bucket just to show you how to create a bucket. So I will click create bucket. I will enter a name, Avionics bucket. If you remember, the bucket name should be unique across all the AWS S3 bucket names. So I have put Avionics bucket. Let us see. Okay, and region, you can select the region of your choice. I have selected Asia Pacific Mumbai because this is closest to the place where I am sitting right now, and I will click create. Okay, so it was available and Avionics bucket is created. Bucket which is marked as not public in Asia Pacific region. Okay, so this is the key which you must remember. I mean, a key point, that this bucket is not public. We have not marked it as public, and by default all Amazon resources buckets objects are private and they can be accessed only by the resource owner. Okay, so by default, since we have not marked it as public, it is marked as not public. Now let us see what's inside this bucket. There's nothing. This bucket is empty. Upload new objects to get started. To upload, here we have one upload button. I will click upload. Okay, here I can add my files. Okay, select files, set permissions, set properties, and review. But there's a shorter route as well. We will see the short one. Let us see. So add files, and here's on my desktop we have one logo. I am just clicking this logo and open. And now here, from here, I can straight away upload, go for upload, or I can go for next to go ahead with permissions and properties. But for the time being, let us go ahead with upload. This is the shortest method to upload. It will upload with default permissions and properties. So for the time being, we will click upload. Okay, logo.png is uploaded inside our bucket, Avionics bucket. Okay, now let us see. I have clicked logo.png, and here's the link. It's a public URL over SSL, okay, HTTPS. So if I click this link, do you think we can able to access the resource, the image which I have just uploaded? The answer should be no. It's no, because by default all Amazon resources, buckets, objects are private and only resource owner can access. So though only resource owner can access, but since this is a public URL, that is, this can be accessed publicly. Right now, if we are going with this, we should not be able to access this. Let us see. Okay, so this is quite expected. Access is denied for our object. Okay, you can see this message, access denied, and we are in Avionics bucket / logo PNG. Now let us go back. To make it public, I will click make public, and here we are with a success message. It means now if we are going back and clicking this link, we should be able to access it, or anyone to whom I am sharing this link can access this object because this has been marked as public. Let us go back. So this was our second objective, to access the uploaded object. Now let us go back to the bucket. Now let us upload another object, add files, and here we have another copy of the same logo, Avionics. I will open it, and this time I will not straight away go with the short upload. I will follow next and manage users, keep the default permissions, access for a other AWS account. You can use any other account as well. It will give direct access to this object. And then here you must note manage public permissions. So by default it is do not grant public read access to this object. But if you want to give public access, that is from the URL, you must select this grant public read access to this object. Let us select this. So here it's showing you a warning as well that this object has public read access. No problem. Go and click next. So here by default the storage class is standard. If you remember, we have standard IA, one zone IA, and reduced redundancy as storage classes. Encryption we will go ahead with none, and metadata and tag, just you can ignore this for the time being and click next. Okay, so here's we are in review, files, permissions, properties, storage class that we have already chosen standard, and click upload, and we have this logo copied PNG. And now since we have granted this public access, we can access it directly over internet, okay, without any issue. So here we have explicitly granted public permission. We'll go back. So we have uploaded two objects, and we have been able to access it as well after marking it as public. Now let us go ahead with life cycle of an object. Now to add life cycle rules to an object, we must select a bucket for which we are going to have life cycle rules. So here's our bucket, Avionics bucket. Inside Avionics bucket, I am clicking management. Okay, out of these 4 menus, I am clicking management. Inside this management, I have life cycle and then add life cycle rule. So here it's showing there is no life cycle rule applied to this bucket. Here is how to get started. Okay, so I will click add lifecycle rule, enter a rule name. A rule name could be anything. I can write it like my bucket rule, and I will click next. For the time being, you can just ignore this. If you are not writing it anything, it means the rule should be applicable to all the objects inside this bucket. As we have not defined any tags, so I'm not writing anything over here. I'll just leave it blank, it doesn't matter. I'll click next, and here configure transition. Okay, I will select current version, and then I will select add transition. Object creation, transition to standard IA after. So our object is both the objects are currently inside standard, so I will select transition to standard IA after. So minimum is 30 days, so it is populating 30 days by default. You can mark anything if you want. You can mark 35 days, 60 days, 20 days. Enter an integer value greater than or equal to 30. So we will write 30 over here. Okay, and then we can have another transition as well. So this, what does this mean? Transition to standard IA after 30 days of creation. Means if I have uploaded this object today, after 30 days, as I have uploaded this to standard, it will go to standard IA, means to a cheaper storage class. And then from cheaper storage standard IA to, if I want to archive this object to make a greater cost saving, I can choose Amazon Glacier after 60 days. 60 days is the minimum over here, and just don't get confused. This 60 is after creation date. So we have already seen this in the theory class, so this is same. I mean, from here to here is 30 days. Again, if your reference point is standard IA, then you after 30 days of entering into a standard IA, it should go to Amazon Glacier. But if your reference point is creation date of the object, that is upload date, then after 60 days it will go to Glacier. So right now we have our objects will be there in standard storage class for 30 days. After 30 days it will go to standard IA, and after standard IA, again after next 30 days it will go to Amazon Glacier. Okay, and then click next. Here we can have some cleanup, etc. For the time being, let us ignore it. And next, we are reviewing it. Transitions for current version of object, transition to standard IA after 30 days, transition to Amazon Glacier after 60 days. So this looks fine, and I will save it. So this is our first rule. Okay, lifecycle rule is in my bucket rule, applied to whole bucket. So there are two objects, and the action is defined standard IA for the first one, for the first rule, and Amazon Glacier for the second rule. So this is how we set object lifecycle rules in S3. So here in this lecture we fulfilled our three objectives, that is uploaded objects to S3 bucket, and then we accessed those objects from the bucket through public URL, and finally we configured two object lifecycle rules as well for our bucket. So this was all about S3. See you in the next section. Thank you.